we want to perfect the pizza making process. We're able to do that by staying with one product. We do one size of pizza. People hear automation, they hear robotics and like these buzzwords, and they assume that the craft and the art and like the love is taken away, right? It's far from the truth. This is probably the hardest part of the pizza making process you'll see over here is pressing the dough. And even these recipes, right? These were very well thought out in terms of how much sauce, how much cheese, and distribution. So this here is a little bit of an opportunity now for a QC checkpoint to make sure that the pie looks great, the cheese is well spread, the sauce, everything looks good, and it's how acceptable to our standards before putting it into the oven. And what it does is it really accomplishes that New York style crust that you'd see from a traditional deck oven, where it's trying
to mimic the brick oven, right?
Exactly.
What's next for Pizza HQ, if I can even ask that?
Yeah, great question. We have on our roadmap.
Hi everyone, it's John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur, and as you can see, I'm at Pizza HQ, the future of pizza. Did you know that the first pizza was actually made in Naples, Italy in 1940? What if I told you that there's a place right here, Pizza HQ, that's actually using robot technology to make pizza? How cool is that? Well, we're gonna go inside in just a moment and get a tour of this place and then taste some of this amazing pizza. Their pizzas are made in like 10 or 15 minutes, and I can't wait to go inside and meet the owner and get this tour. So come on. Well, I'm here to actually meet Jay from Pizza HQ. Hey Jay, John Morley,
how's it going,
great
John?
to be with you.
Nice to meet you.
And he's gonna give us a little tour about how they actually make pizza using robotic technology. So I have to ask you, Jay, how did you get into the business? I know you've been in the pizza business for a while. How did you get into the thought process of wanting to make them with robots or automatically?
Sure. So we had pizzerias, right? We've done things the traditional way, mom and pop. And when looking at ways to scale the brand, this is a little bit pre-COVID. We looked at how can we reduce some of the bottlenecks we had. Some of the pain points were having very specialized, having staff that are very skilled in a specialized trade, like stretching the pie. They're very hard to find people that can operate at a very high volume and bring onto the team. So we're looking at, hey, how can we bring equipment into the play to kind of take away from that the skill set and be able to train someone on how to do that instead. We had huge menus, a lot of the complexities that you see with the traditional pizzeria model. We wanted to kind of mitigate and figure out how to build a brand that's very easy to scale and take it to the next level. Part of that journey started with looking at different equipment to take these positions, and then kind of just open the door to a lot of automation that when we do a tour we'll see.
How long did it actually take you from concept to opening up this first place? How long? That must have been a journey.
Yeah, so we started, this was just before COVID. We came up with the idea. COVID hit, things got crazy. I'd say probably about a year and a half from coming up with the idea and really building out the model and actually opening our doors. Especially with the innovation we have and a lot of the equipment, it's very new to the market, right? We were guinea pigs, so to speak, for some of the partners that we use, and still to this day we're working with them diligently on improving the equipment itself and making it better.
How many people do you actually have to have on premise to operate this type of robotic system that you have?
Have to have one, right? Our model's not just built on fully automated and just taking out the human touch, right? It's more so built on how can we increase the throughput effectively and efficiently. So where we can have one person in the back of the house in the kitchen and operate the whole from start to finish. Our volume sometimes goes upward 7,000 pies a week. We're projecting for next month. It takes a team of people to do that. 4 or 5 people in the back of the house to really spread out, take each position, and be able to keep that the process flow going.
Probably getting the pizzas in the boxes is, I guess, what takes the time, right? That takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. From pressing the dough. The machines are able to sauce and cheese it, so that takes away some of the time and the manual labor. But pressing the dough, putting the pizzas in, cutting the pies, putting it in a bag, and then dispatching where it's going to go.
And about how many pizzas? I know you have the cheese pizza, the pepperoni pizza, but what other pizzas, what do you offer? I know it's just pizzas.
So yeah, so one of our things that when we started was to keep things simple, right? We've actually grown a little bit on the menu. We put a few specialty pies, but we have less than 15 pies. We looked at our other restaurants and said, okay, what's the biggest sellers, right, in terms of toppings? So we have the pepperoni, the sausage meatball, mushrooms, basically we took like the top 10 ingredients. And then we put a few of them together for a veggie pie, a meat lover's pie, right, and so forth. But our idea from the beginning, is really to just keep the model simple. We want to perfect the pizza making process, right? And we're able to do that by staying with one product. We do one size of pizza, and what we want to do is just keep the quality that we've put out there, but really be able to bring equipment in and produce that same pie, and give it at a lower price point for the consumer.
Are there any plans to add additional, not so much food items, but additional toppings? Is that something you're considering?
We went back and forth on it a few times, to be determined. Like I said, a few months ago, we added a few toppings on. Just last week, we were toying with another idea of cheesy garlic bread. So to be determined, right? We right now we're about a little over a year here. We're still perfecting our process. We're still like I said, working diligently with some of the partners we have, from our ovens to our pizza applicators and our topping applicators rather, and perfecting that side of it. So there's it takes a lot of bandwidth. But the future, who knows? It's very possible.
Like I said, it's a little different than the way they made pizzas the way our ancestors did back in Naples, Italy, around 1940. So why don't you give us a tour maybe and show us how do you actually make a pizza here?
Sure, come on back.
This is gonna be cool.
So as you can see here, we have a traditional dough mixer. We make our dough in-house. It proofs for 2 days. We make our sauce in-house. Cheese we work with, one of our distributors is, worked hard on a proprietary recipe. It comes from Wisconsin. People hear automation, they hear robotics and like these buzzwords, and they assume that the craft and the art and like the love is taken away, right? It's far from the truth. Especially using some of the equipment we had to alternate the way we do things, our dough recipe, the way the pizza interacts with different equipment, and really get creative with it. We're like I said, a little over a year here, maybe a year and a half close to, and like still to this day, we're fine tuning, we're making tweaks, we're eating pizza every day, trying and seeing, how can we make it better. So that's where we start. So after the dough sits for 2 days in our walk-in box, we'll bring it out over here. We'll let it proof to room temperature. We'll put it in flour, just to, sorry, I'll get over here real quick, just to, so it doesn't stick, and then we'll press it. So as I spoke earlier, this is probably the hardest part of the pizza making process you'll see over here, is pressing the dough. So you'll see here the press, an operator is able to do that pretty efficiently. Whereas in a traditional pizzeria, that's one of the hardest skills that is acquired, right? And it's not something that you can bring someone here and...
What's he doing now? What he's doing?
So what he was doing there is docking it, and what that does is when it goes in the oven, it prevents big bubbles from coming about. The stretching the dough, it's one of the hardest skills to acquire. It takes years, right? It's not like you can just have someone trained to do that, quickly. So this was able to eliminate that part, right? Now I'll jump over here real quick also. You can see this machine. We tried many different dough presses across the country. We traveled and brought our dough and tested things out. It may be a little hard to catch on a camera, but over here there's a beveled edge. And what that does is that allows for it to be a crust, right? So it doesn't come out just like a flatbread or like a frozen pizza. We're able to adjust the thickness of the dough over here. There's a top temperature, a bottom temperature, the length that it presses. So it's like a few different variables to this formula based on our dough, but this beveled edge allows it to come out and like still form that crust that people are accustomed to.
How long did it take you from getting the dough right to getting this press? Or how long did that process take?
We're still there, right?
Still there. Okay.
I'd say it took us like a good 6 months when we were really making consistent changes, daily, weekly. Now time and time again, we'll alternate a few things. Hydration levels, proofing times, whatever it may be. And like, just see, we talk to people all the time. We go to the Pizza Expo, right? A lot of dough connoisseurs, a lot more knowledgeable than us. Also, pick their brains and just like I said, we're on a constant journey of just making the product better and better, and just creating a delicious product to delight our customer.
You don't get that at a typical pizzeria, and you've kind of captured the fact that you're making a pizza, you're still kind of making it in a hand way, but you're using automation to still deliver almost like a hand quality pizza with some controls in place.
That was our goal, right? Again, we built this for throughput to be able to produce many pizzas, and on a Friday night at other pizzerias that we've had, went from an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes delivery time, and people wait. And during COVID, things really got crazy, right? We never wanted that here. We never wanted a rush bottleneck where you're waiting longer for your pizza. Pickup here is always 10 to 15 minutes. Delivery is always 30 to 45 minutes, right? No matter the time, Friday night, Saturday night, whenever it is. And we were able to accomplish that with having a streamlined process.
So we just put a pie in there now, and tell us what's happening.
Yeah, so the camera over here is reading x-axis, y-axis, right? These are 3 different modules communicating where the pie is. And now, as you can see here, the sauce lever will come out and dispense the sauce. From there, it'll go underneath the cheese module. And even these recipes, right? These were very well thought out in terms of how much sauce, how much cheese, the distribution, the thickness. There's a lot of settings that go into, and
that took a lot of time.
It took a lot of time to perfect it.
You had to play with that and kind of
because everyone makes pizza different, right? So we really wanted to mimic our pie.
What's happening? Oh, this is if it gets pepperoni.
Yeah, so if the pie's pepperoni, we have a stick in there. It slices it fresh, puts it right onto the pizza.
So if you had to add more ingredients, you would just add another module, and then that would be another machine. So there's other
modules you can add. So this is granular toppings, and then you can have 6 more, for each module.
And those are just additional things that would be added, additional shoots, basically.
Correct.
Pretty neat. And now it's going to come out of here. That didn't take very long. I don't think it even took a minute. Yeah, so, again, one pie, a human, so to speak, can, very much keep up with the time. But, this machine can do 130 an hour, right? And it operates with 2 people. So 2 people making 130 pies an hour, that becomes a lot more difficult. So the pie
and consistent every time.
The pie, I see that. And the pie is now waiting. It's sitting on the metal table.
So this here is a little bit of an opportunity now for a QC checkpoint, right, for quality control. You could very well get a machine that will put this straight into the oven. For us, again, with technology, there's occasionally the hiccup, right? This is an opportunity for us, especially as we continue to develop the process and everything, to make sure that the pie looks great, the cheese is well spread, the sauce, everything looks good, and it's how acceptable to our standards before putting it into the oven. So you'll see over here, we transfer it from the screen onto the belt. This oven over here, again, part of the equipment stack. We've looked at many different manufacturers for each different part of the process to really get our pie as a final product, right? This oven over here is different than most of the conveyor ovens you would find, in other bakery establishments or pizzerias. It has the mesh over here for the infeed, but if you actually look inside the oven, and I could open the door over here, it's not cooking on mesh. I don't know if that's going to be easy for the camera to see, but it's actually a stone. So it's composed of black granite. It's a black granite belt, and what it does is it really accomplishes that New York style crust that you'd see from a traditional deck oven, where it's cooking on the stone.
Trying to mimic the brick oven, right?
Exactly, and shy away from like the regular convectional cook that you'd see on a frozen pie or.
How long does it take to get through the oven?
Great question. This oven, again, has a variety of different settings, right? You have top temperature, you have stone temperature, you have a fan speed of blowing the
Is
heat
this
around.
gas powered?
It's gas. Yeah, correct. It's gas.
Okay.
So we have it set right now. It's about 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Coming through. We're able to do for each oven about 85 pies an hour. As of right now, we have 3 ovens in our facility, and in about 10 days from now, we have another 3 coming. So we'll have a total of 6, and this over here will, similar to how you see the double stack there. This will be 3 ovens.
Stack up. Oh, that's pretty nice.
2 sets of triple stacks. Yep.
I like that they have wheels. Like a lot of times when you see, like in a pizza place, it's like you're married to the way they're in the wall. You don't like the location. Like you can move this with a little bit of work.
Given the weight, you don't want to move it too much.
Right.
It's pretty heavy, especially when you start stacking 3 on top of each other. But yeah, it's nice.
I noticed something else that we want to capture. If we come over here, you'll notice that on this oven and also on all of their equipment, they have these red, looks like the safety stop button, which is really good because, you know, a lot of times people working and you need a quick way to shut everything down. I remember this from the gas station, you know, when you have to press that button and just kind of just remove all power. So that's really interesting. So you guys get here pretty early in the morning, and then what time do you guys close at night here?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Yeah. So, you know, going into the busy season, into winter, we work with, you know, not just regular pickup and delivery orders, right? We work with a ton of different industries.
Businesses and stuff.
Businesses, you know, a lot of recurring orders, a lot of contracts. Like I said, starting, you know, our forecast for next month starts about 7,000 pizzas a week, maybe just shy of that.
Okay.
You know, and there's a lot more that goes into it than just what we saw here, right? From a prep standpoint, from making the dough, sauce, you know, prepping the cheese, putting it in buckets, getting ready to.
Can somebody order one of these and have it delivered, or no?
Yeah, absolutely. So out of this location here, we deliver a 5-mile radius. We also, you know, are on all third parties, right? DoorDash, Uber Eats, Slice. But yeah, we have our own app, Pizza HQ. We have our own website. You know, click the order now button, comes in. And
where did the inspiration come for the name HQ?
It's funny. So our first name that we chose was Pizza Factory. We realized the hard way that there's a lot of thought that needs to go from trademarks to Instagram handles to website domains. You know, so this was a bunch of names later. Actually, my partner's sister came up with that. You know, we were just on a brainstorming session for a few weeks here. We need another name. The Pizza Factory name was trademarked out of someone in California with over 100 locations. So we're like, all right, what can we do? And she actually, you know, just shot out in a text message one day, what about Pizza HQ? And you know, I was like, oh yeah, it's cool. And like started sitting on it. I was like, it's actually a great name, Pizza Headquarters, right?
It's what you guys do, and it also reminds me a little more of a kind of upper echelon of pizza, because when I think of factory, I think of mass production.
Yeah.
When I first was learning about you guys, you know, I thought it was just mass producing, but it is mass production, but it's production with a real eye for quality assurance, which is something that most of your customers, unfortunately, don't see, that they're really putting time in the fact that you're not trying to rush a few 10 or 50 other pizzas in the oven because you want to get the profit. You really want to make sure that they're getting a good quality pizza, and I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, we like to say, you know, or describe the model as a hybrid between the restaurant business and food manufacturing, right? We're not food manufacturing in a sense of a commodity, just mass producing for a store shelf. But you know, we have like that art of the restaurant, right? We are obsessed with our product. We're obsessed with the art of making pizza. You know, it's part of our mission statement. And but you know, we built in the ability to scale and be able to produce at bulk, right? That good quality pizza. One thing like we were set to not compromise on was the quality, right? You know, and there's a lot of different equipment out there. You know, maybe do things a little better, maybe be a little cheaper, but that quality wasn't there. You know, it's something that, you know, we steered away from, and we made sure that everything we brought in produced as close as possible, resemble the product that, you know, we've had in our other stores, and you know, people in the neighborhood have loved.
Even before you started taking the tour, I had taken a quick walk around, and I could see even the heads of the plastic, like they're made with really solid ABS. They're not this cheap stuff you find in another country. They seem like they're made very, you know, very well.
Yeah. We've, you know, you know, we try to work with the best manufacturers, you know, on all equipment. Like everything in here is, you know, from the state of art producers,
research,
right?
Okay.
Yeah. You know, yeah.
All right, so very interesting. So like I said, so anybody that wants to try this out, obviously they're right here in Woodland Park, New Jersey, and you guys can pop by. I think getting a pie here is like 10, 15 minutes. It doesn't really take very long, does it?
10 to 15 minutes for a pie. You know, yeah, our prices right now are, you know, $10.99 at the time of this recording. Super competitive for the, you know, the neighborhood. Yeah, come by, check it out.
And they're giving you a pie that's basically cooked on like a brick oven, which I don't know any pizza places that are doing that are doing it in a high volume. And you go to a pizza place, they have an oven, they stick it in. It's not a brick oven pizza.
Yeah, I think in this category of, you know, being like a quote unquote restaurant, you know, or takeout delivery, you know, we're one of the only establishments I know of, like, you know, that are doing it on this scale at also like a restaurant level. You know, again, there's food manufacturers out there, right, do this at a much larger scale, but they don't offer for a pickup or delivery, and really have like a authentic New York style pizza that the consumers want.
Well, Jay, I only have two other questions for you. One is we definitely want to try a slice before we go, and the second thing is, what's next for Pizza HQ, if I can even ask that?
Yeah, great question. We have on our roadmap, we're still in the final stages of really perfecting this location. Again, a little over a year here. We want to use the next few months to really just fine tune and get things to where they need to be. Get everything humming perfectly, and then we'll be looking for location 2, location 3, and being able to serve a larger area, more customers.
Well, there you are, guys. An amazing tour right here in New Jersey. Who would thought that we could say that we have basically an automated pizza process that's probably going to taste pretty good. We're going to do that a little bit later, but Jay, I definitely want to thank you for your time.
Thanks, John.
Really enjoyed coming through your facility and him opening this up to us and letting us see how they make pizza. Why don't you do that one night instead of having your partner yell at you for, oh, did you order the pizza? No, give them a call, have one of these people deliver, or come down here and just wait a few minutes and get that pie, and maybe you won't be in the doghouse. All right, we're gonna go taste some of this pizza in a little bit. Thanks so much for joining us on this tour.